Lions attacked a small herd of buffaloes, searching for lush greenery in the dense thickets of shrubs and low trees. An enraged bull decided to use its almost five-fold mass advantage and resist the lioness. It lunged at the big cats, attempting to trample them. The bull pushed back the predators and began chasing them, but it was a mistake. The lionesses lured the bull into a trap. Behind the next bush, a young male lion was lying in wait. Although he still had a small mane, his strength already surpassed that of the females. The bull clearly didn't expect this. The lion attacked the buffalo from the side, clamped onto the prey, and with the help of the lionesses quickly brought down and finished the overly confident enemy. There exists a myth that male lions don't hunt, but in reality, they're always eager to secure food if the opportunity arises. Lions have a large, very large mane, hindering camouflage and the use of their favorite ambush tactics. However, this experienced predator managed to utilize the bushes for inconspicuous approach to the prey. Then the lion launched an attack. His target was one of the most dangerous and robust antelopes in the world, the oryx. The antelope is characterized by a tough nature, fearlessness, and the ability to resist large predators. Its very long, straight horns act like spears. The antelope noticed the predator and aimed its horns precisely at its head. But the oryx underestimated the lion. The panther turned out to be much more agile. At the last moment before the strike, the predator dodged the antelope's horns and rammed into its side, putting all its mass into the blow. The lion knocked the opponent to the ground and seized its throat, and if it had been slower, the horns could have pierced its head or gouged its eyes. The courage of the predator deserves your respect. The oryx's horns are effective both in offense and defense. The stabbing strikes are dangerous as they can damage the opponent's internal organs. The considerable length always protecting the neck from attacks from above and behind. But the lion is aware of this and makes an unexpected maneuver. He gives up the advantageous position he found himself in immediately after the strike, as he couldn't reach the oryx's neck because of its horns. The lion allows the massive and powerful herbivore to be on top during their struggle. The panther finds itself on its back, but seizes the enemy's throat from below. It's very risky since the oryx possesses considerable strength. The antelope attempts to fight back and trample the opponent, but the lion's grip is devastatingly strong. The oryx weakens, and the antelope falls. It's not the end yet. It struggles, but the lion doesn't miss its chance. The lion noticed a young elephant on the water's edge and observed the herbivore with interest for a while, seemingly assessing. The elephant is still young, far from the size of an adult. A mature giant can weigh around 5 tons. This creature is unlikely to be heavier than a ton or a ton and a half. Yet even so, it is 4 to 6 times more massive than the lion. However, the elephant wrongly thought its size guaranteed safety. It should have called for help or run into the water. The lion dared a risky attack and leaped into the opponent. The enormous predator lunged onto the elephant's back, climbed on it like a living rock. The herbivorous creature is furious but helpless. It easily repels the lioness who tried to attack from the front. But then the elephant falls. Afterward, the lions immediately pounce on it and press it to the ground. The prey won't get up again. The lions reach for the hidden areas behind the ears, the trunk, and the growing tusks of the prey, compressing the trachea. Although finishing off such a large opponent is challenging and time-consuming, this enormous prey will sustain the pride for several days. If you think that an adult elephant is invulnerable to lions, then you're mistaken. Here, a pride of experienced predators tracks an entire herd of elephants. The herbivores move through dense thickets. They likely spot the predators, so they change direction and move away, searching for a place where it's easier to hold their defense. However, one of the elephants is too confident. It lags behind the herd, possibly hoping to scare the panthers away. Big mistake. Lionesses are quite massive predators, surpassing leopards in terms of weight. However, they are still cats, incredibly agile and nimble creatures. One of the lionesses climbs onto the elephant's back and literally rides it. She grabs the giant's mane with her fangs, and the huge predatory cat seems a bit lost against the backdrop of the giant herbivorous beast. It appears that having a lioness on its back doesn't bother the elephant at all or cause any discomfort. The elephant runs around, dispersing the other huntresses, while their leader barely holds onto the enemy's back. This lioness clings with all her might, sinking her fangs and claws into the rough, tough skin of the opponent. It's an impressive battle where the elephant clearly has the advantage in strength. The predators avoid injuries but don't release the opponent from their grip. Meanwhile, the bite on the mane gradually takes its toll on the elephant. Slowly but steadily, it loses strength, moving slower and slower. The other huntresses realize it's their chance and pounce on him. Finally, the predatory cats bring down the opponent and manage to finish him off after a long and exhausting, yet effective battle. There are several subspecies of lions. The so-called Barbary lion is officially considered extinct as of now. It inhabited the territory of Africa, and while common lions prefer savannas, and especially the forests south of the Sahara, the Barbary lion preferred northern parts of the continent, specifically the mountains and deserts from Morocco to Egypt, north of the Sahara. It was the most massive and powerful lion that survived into our time, and the last wild Barbary lion was shot in 1922. However, according to various data, these lions are still kept in many zoos even now. They freely crossbreed with other subspecies, so scientists still need to determine if there are any purebred Barbary lions. But even if there are hybrids, some of them exhibit dominant features of the Barbary subspecies. Here, males of the common African lion and the Barbary lion meet in one enclosure, and you can see a significance between them. The Barbary lion is affectionate and begins to court a female who clearly appeals to the African lion. The enraged male decides to show the intruder who's the boss. But he underestimated his distant relative and confronted the wrong lion. Although the African lion impressively charged at the opponent, the Barbary lion withstood the impact and, thanks to its enormous mass, delivered a devastating counter. As you can see, the Barbary lion is generally darker. It has brownish-red fur, a denser dark mane that grows not only under the neck, but also covers the chest and even the elbows of the front legs. Thanks to this natural protection and immense strength, it made it clear to its rival that picking a fight was a bad idea. The Barbary lion is wounded. It limps as the opponent injured its hind leg. But even in this condition, the larger predator managed to corner the opponent, suppress resistance with a few strikes, and even painfully extend its claws into him. The African lion immediately cooled down, while the Barbary lion limped away. Hopefully, it will fully recover. The lion lies on the ground, but then leaps up and attacks the tiger. It's not a serious fight, but a playful, friendly boxing match. However, the tiger tries to resist the opponent. It might seem that the lion has the upper hand in size, but it's an illusion due to the large mane. The striped panther is more massive, delivering a series of lightning-fast strikes. Still, the lion keeps advancing and deflects the attacking impulses of the opponent. The tiger takes a few hits to the face. Notice that although the striped beast fought more actively, the lion skillfully dodged most of the opponent's blows with precision. The tiger's claws flashed right in front of the lion's nose, but it stood its ground, overwhelming the opponent and making it retreat. The baby whale swam too close to the shore and ended up among more than a dozen surfers. Now the baby is scared and may accidentally throw himself onto dry land, but the mother was on her guard. She swam up to her cub and managed to push it away from the shallow water. Surprisingly, the alarmed female did not show any aggression towards people who were not sure who they were dealing with. But although an adult whale could sweep several people off the boards into the water with one blow of its tail, the female only poured water on them. At the same time, sometimes the maternal care of animals looks not only so much menacing as cute and touching. Here, the owner prepares food for the puppy. While the guy mixes the ingredients of the treats, he keeps the baby away from the bowl. The puppy persistently wanders to the food, but the guy is still busy. This scene is watched by the mother, who at some point decides, well, that's enough, and puts her paw on the guy's arm so that he finally lets her cub go to the food. No aggression, just a sweet and funny scene. But the guy did not expect that the mother would so tactfully stand up for her baby. This gray crow got involved with the wrong mother hen. When a dangerous bird flew into the coop, she hoped to scare the chicken and catch herself a chicken for lunch. But she was wrong. The chicken showed incredible determination instead of panic. Just look at how she deals with the shocked crow. She tries to fight back, but the chicken just tramples her. After the chicken immobilized the opponent and suppressed the resistance, she did not stop and began to peck right into the opponent's neck. It seems that she does not want to let the enemy go alive, so that he will return for a second attack when he recovers. This can be understood. For the sake of the offspring, the bird, and any mother, is ready for different actions. Sometimes you can't do without harsh measures, especially since crows are stubborn and smart. But this crow will no longer threaten anyone. After several blows to the throat, the chicken began to hit the enemy's skull and eyes exactly. Attempts to fight back seem desperate, and then the crow weakens, and its wings only twitch slightly under the blows of the chicken. These two guanacos didn't know who they were dealing with. Mountain lions usually rely on a quick attack and retreat if they cannot defeat the enemy for a long time. But here the situation is developing according to an unusual scenario. The cougar attacked two guanacos, who immediately scattered to the sides. The predatory cat managed to catch one of the enemies at the last moment, but did not overwhelm, but only hooked its claws on the hind legs of the victim. The guanaco showed impressive resistance and began kicking to throw off the predatory cat. Of course, the mountain lion is not afraid of hoofbeats, but the more the predator spends energy, the less benefit from hunting, even if successful. But the cougar does not retreat. She demonstrates incredible agility and right during the wild rodeo reaches her fangs into the neck of the prey from behind. She climbs, but the guanaco throws the predator off her back at the very last moment. Just a second before the predator's fangs close around her neck. A victory? Not at all. The cougar suddenly jumps up and attacks the guanaco again. The herbivore did not expect such tenacity, but the reason for such a dedication is simple. A kitten is watching the hunt. The guanaco is not only prepared for the role of lunch, all this hunting is kind of textbook. According to which a fluffy and cute baby learns to get food for himself right now. And the puma is ready to give 100% for him. She jumps back onto the back of the guanaco, after which she finally gets to the throat of the opponent. This zebra showed the hyena that it is better not to approach foals at all. The enraged female ran into the predator, knocked it down due to the advantage in mass and acceleration, and then began the chase. The hyena has no chance but to stand up to such fury. She runs away in a panic, and the zebra also bites the enemy on the run and grabs the base of the spine with its teeth. The hyena was lucky. An adult female could bite her spine. That's really who has a reputation for vulnerable and defenseless cuties. So it's rabbits. But when the crow attacked the cub, she did not understand that for the sake of saving the offspring, the baby's mother is able to awaken the spirit of a samurai within herself. Just look at how the female resolutely runs at the aggressor. You don't expect this from timid rodents. But it becomes clear that for her, protecting the baby is not just a reflex, but the main goal. She fights off the offspring of an enemy stunned by such a rebuff, after which she begins to chase the bird. When mom is far away, the only chance for a little rabbit to survive is to go unnoticed. Agree. At first, you really didn't notice the baby among the foliage, especially behind the fence. But the snake is guided by smell, not just by sight. She explores the whole neighborhood with a sensitive tongue, realizes that lunch is nearby, and finds the rabbit. And when he finds him, he immediately rushes at him, bites into him, and begins to strangle him. Are you scared? Don't worry, Mom came to the rescue just in time. The snake certainly did not expect such fury. The rabbit was fighting a snake, and the first part of the battle is difficult to make out behind all these plants. But it is clearly visible how the tail and body of the snake flicker. The enraged female throws the snake from side to side, bites it with hard teeth, and beats it with clawed paws. And the reptile is completely powerless, and the rabbit ignores its bites. After receiving a terrible beating, the snake breaks free and crawls away to a higher bush. It remains to be hoped that both the mother and the baby will survive and be able to recover from such an attack. You know the expression, it's as easy as taking a toy away from a child? Well, this is clearly not a baby gorilla. This black ball of fur was clutching his favorite toy so sweetly and looked so helpless. It's so small that it's hard to even call it a game. A young teenage gorilla from the same enclosure decided that it could be used to take away her favorite thing. That's just the baby was being watched by the mother all this time. She was sitting motionless, probably admiring her offspring. And as soon as the teenager took one extra step towards the baby, the female immediately started up and went across like a living, mighty mountain. The teenager immediately retreated. He did not want to get into the face for some piece of rubber. It's reasonable. It's not worth contacting her cub. Mom is always there to help. Actually, male lions are very good dads, but this one is still very young. He is so actively interested in the den with newborn lion cubs that he may accidentally harm them. The female understands this and gives the male such a beating that the lion begins to realize who the real leader is in the pride. He fights back because he has an advantage in mass. But the lioness doesn't care. She clearly knows a lot about martial arts. Just look, she's throwing a lion over her head. The stunned male does a somersault, lands on his back, and retreats. And the lioness also beats him with a clawed paw in pursuit. It's funny that after receiving such a painful lesson, the lion behaves as if nothing had happened. But the cubs are provided with peace when such a brave mother is around. The porcupine is a very difficult opponent in itself, but still this beast is usually not particularly aggressive. He fights back desperately and harshly, but tries not to bring it to a fatal end and avoids a fight until he is finally exasperated. However, in this case of a threat to offspring, the porcupine's patience runs out much faster. You can say instantly. When a predator attacks a family of these animals, it makes the biggest mistake of its life. Porcupines don't even waste time trying to retreat. They immediately launch a counterattack. Their goal is not just to give battle to the enemy, but to pile on him so that the leopard can never threaten anyone ever again. Male and females act as a united front. While one of the parents covers the kids and protects them, as the last line of defense, the second one acts directly against the leopard. The porcupine is at least 3 times inferior to the enemy in mass, but the parents don't really care. At first, the leopard still thought that he was here, a cool and scary predator. But the porcupines quickly proved to him that today the spotted cat was destined for the role of victim. The leopard maneuvered, tried to get around the porcupines and catch their cub, and for a while the situation looked threatening. But in fact, the baby is safe. The enraged parents immediately stopped the predator's attempts to attack their offspring. Instead of just holing up to protect their needles, the porcupines went into battle. The leopard trapped itself when it got so close to two adults. This was a fatal mistake. The leopard, even with all its agility, did not have a chance to dodge. The needles tore through the predator's skin and sank deep into its flesh. But this is just the beginning. When the pain pierced the cat's body, he realized that he needed to retreat, but no one would let him go. The porcupines surround the leopard. Their needles are pointed backwards so as not to interfere with the beasts themselves, so they have to back away to attack. It doesn't look too dangerous, but only as long as the needles are not near the predator's eyes. Porcupines ram the enemy, bypass him, do not let go, and leave needles in his body again. The jagged tips of the sharp needles not only penetrate deep into the leopard's body, but also get stuck there. But the base of the needles is smooth, so they come out of the porcupine's body pretty easily. As a result, the leopard receives multiple deep penetrating wounds that threaten its internal organs. But the main thing is that the needles remained inside. The leopard itself cannot take them out, at least not when there are so many. The leopard's wounds will begin to rot, the inflammation will turn into blood poisoning. And even until this happens, the predator will not be able to hunt because the needles will prevent it from sneaking up and running, depriving it of sleep and disturbing it, and the predator is also threatened with starvation. But now the spotted cat does not know all of this. He stops trying to eat the little baby porcupines,